Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Casey over at Ormsby Farms.
And I'm Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch. I hope you guys are having a lovely Tuesday and week so far. I feel like so many people are getting snow, and here I am in Dallas with no snow. Everybody else, all the way down to Florida, is getting snow. Houston, Georgia has gotten snow, and I'm just up here in Dallas freezing my tushy off. So just saying.
I felt right before we went on, I feel like Sandy. I was having my hot cocoa and looking out the door, and it is 19 degrees and blanketed with snow. So I feel very Sandy tonight.
You feel very Sandy tonight, which means you feel extra intelligent too. So now I expect some very wise words out of you. So
don't make no money on it, girl.
You did that one to yourself. So you guys might notice that Miss Ann is not here tonight. So she is out tonight with some things going on in her family, and she was also not feeling the best. So we're going to be sending her our love and prayers so that she knows that we miss her and we love you, Ann. And I hope you're feeling better soon and all the things get worked out, because I think it's par for the course this week. There's a lot happening.
Life is lifing.
Life is really lifing this week. So on that note, do we want to say hi to everybody? Let's see. I have the job of saying hello that Miss Ann usually has. I'm not.
And she does it so well, but we believe in you, Monica.
Okay, I'm going to channel my inner Ann. Okay. So let's say Chris Shirley Babies is in here. Welcome in. Glad to see you. Bob Brink, thanks for coming in. It's nice to see you in here. Billings, Montana. Nice. Sweet Rebecca. Thank you for coming in here, Miss Rebecca. Two Doves, Bees and Gardens, John and Sarah, welcome in. Good evening. Also with no snow in here in North Texas. Miss Penny Ortiz, how are you? Oregon, probably also very cold. Jesus Loving Homesteader, yes. Miss Carmen caught us on a Tuesday night. And the beautiful Jesse's girl over there, down there with some snow this morning or this afternoon. Welcome in. We've got Rudy in here keeping us up to date on the time. Thank you,
and we
Rudy.
appreciate you.
Yes, thank you. There's Miss Tamara at L&L Homestead. Thank you for coming in. Hey, y'all. Troy Sutton. I wonder, are they getting snow in West Virginia? They gotta be. They gotta be getting some weather there. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in. US Freedom 5. Hey.
Our winner from last week.
Yeah, they were our big winner last week. Look at that. Mr. Jesse's in here. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming in. Henry Leslie Vermont, welcome in. Hello to you. Thanks for coming in and joining us.
Y'all, and we have about 31 people in here right now. So definitely say hello. We'd love to say yes. Prayers for Mrs. Ann. Yes, we saw that.
Hello, Robin Hood Homestead, Bob. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Yeah, we're definitely praying for her and all the things going on with her. So I guess I
was going to say, what are we talking about tonight, Monica? So we said this before we went on because Monica has a lot more couth than I do with talking about situations, because from most of y'all could tell from our little thumbnail, it was very patriotic, right? They're gonna talk about the inauguration, or they're gonna talk about that. Well, we may, but what we're really talking about is what tonight, Monica? We're talking about what?
So really, here's the thing. Life has big changes. Sometimes it's every 4 years that we have a change and we have to deal with, whether we like it or whether we don't. There's big changes, but these changes come and they happen a lot. She does. Miss Ann definitely grows on you. But these changes happen all the time. And, we just talk about how we're dealing with homestead changes. How do you deal with all the changes, whether they're in the country and they're overall, how are you feeling can affect how you deal with the things on your homestead. I mean, here's the thing. If you had it all adds up, Lori. If you had a really, really horrible day yesterday, or if it was a really, really great day yesterday, watching the inauguration or whatever it was, that's going to affect how you take care of your animals. It's going to affect how you take care of yourself. It's going to affect a lot of things. And so we kind of want to touch on that. How do we deal? Hey, little Frenchie, how you doing? How do we deal with all the things that are going on? And do we let it affect us or don't we? I mean, here's the thing. Everybody has issues. whether it's with what happened yesterday with the inauguration and the new president, or whether it's just life happening. So Sandy, what's some of the things that you do when you're dealing with, whether you're happy about what's happening on in the world or not? How do you deal with that? Do you have any things in place that help you deal with all of the stuff?
Well, a lot of times I just think this too shall pass. You can get upset about a lot of different things in your life. You can let people get you upset. You can let yourself get you upset.
Yep.
You choose every single day your attitude.
Right.
And I guess I'm kind of lucky that part of my brain is like a man's brain. I can have these little cubicles and I can literally put those things in there.
Box it up.
Yeah. And just shut that door for right now.
Yeah.
But that's just something I have learned over the years. One time I had some advice that told me, if you're in a situation and you're upset and you don't know what to do, pretend that you're on the second floor looking down into the situation. And what would you tell your best friend?
Oh, that's really good.
And that has helped me. I can't even tell you 1,000 times. Like even tonight, I went to go on my computer like I always do. And my computer was saying my camera wouldn't work. So I had to go onto my little phone. And so we're little tiny phone people. And I can't see the chat. And so I could have got upset.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, it's not the end of the world, as I know it.
Yep.
I can either embrace something new or I could be upset. And I think that's with everything in our life. You choose. Now, if you're young, that's hard. But I figure once you're in your 20s, you're an adult. You choose how you're going to react to any given situation. What about you, Casey?
Well, I think that's, how do you follow that, y'all? That was great advice, but it's true. You have to, one thing that I've learned is leaning on my faith is a huge thing that I have learned helps me in good times and bad times, is leaning on my relationship with the Lord. And I think especially right now while we're moving, because I'm trying to cover it up with my head so nobody sees that I have boxes making my room look crazy behind me. But you have to, with a big situation, like with moving, you have to plan out plan by plan. Okay, what am I going to do? Could I be like, and act crazy and think everything's going to go? Yeah, absolutely. I could do that, but it's not going to help anything.
Yeah.
But if I stop, I pray for a minute, I keep it moving. I told the ladies before we went on, I have had a week where I was like, listen, the devil's not going to win this week. The devil is not going to, he's trying too hardcore, but he's not going to win. You just have to learn to pick your battles. Be an adult and keep it moving.
Yeah. And
listen, I'll say it. I had a wonderful day yesterday because of the inauguration. I thought it was cool. I'm just going to put it out there for me. And this is just the opinion of Casey over at Ormsby Farm. But I had a wonderful day with it. I don't know about nobody else, but I thought it was wonderful. So it just brightened my whole entire week. But what about you, Monica? How do you deal with changes and inaugurations?
So I think that's one of the things that spurned this, right? We started talking and we were talking about what are we going to talk about next week, because we really don't have any right now. We don't have any Monday. Yeah, exactly. Praise the way. We don't have any Monday podcasts really coming out. So we wanted to talk about things that were really relevant. And with yesterday, there's going to be a lot of people that are just happy, right? I asked a question in my chat. I said, hey, were you excited about yesterday's festivities? Mainly because I couldn't spell inauguration as fast as I wanted to, because my brain wasn't doing inauguration. I was like, inaugurate. And like festivities sounds good. But a lot of people are going to be really excited. And there's a lot of people that are really upset and not happy and scared. Like people are actually scared. And I'm like, hey, if you had a really rough day yesterday, how can you get your life to just keep moving? Right. So I thought about how I felt when I had someone come into office that I was really scared and upset about. And I thought, what did I do? Well, I prayed. That's the first thing I do. And then I just started looking at what I needed to do, compartmentalize a little bit, make a list, and just box things up and say, okay, I don't need to be fussing about this because this is a big issue that I can't tackle it right now. Right. And I'm just going to go on with my life, and I'm going to just go on with my day, take care of my kids, take care of my husband, and do what I need to do to take care of me, and just keep pushing through. And I think that goes with a lot of what we're doing. And she said, at the end of the day, no matter who's in office, we shouldn't let fear come over us. That's exactly it. And we can't let that stop us. You know, sometimes we need to take a day to like mentally recharge. And maybe for you, that was today. Maybe yesterday was a rough day for you. And today you're like, I can't do it. I'm having a rough day. I need my Tuesday. You know, take your Tuesday. But you know what? Wednesday's coming, and you got to get up and you got to move on. And that's it. And it made me think about it, because I don't know if you guys saw, but we watched it, and it was so funny because some of my kids were really excited, and we turned it on. Literally, we turned it on because we were having trouble with our TV and we couldn't get things moving. And I was having trouble with my internet. We turned it on 2 minutes after he was inaugurated, like after he was sworn in. I was like, what? We missed it. The one thing. Oh, my daughter, she's 20. She was so mad. She was like, we missed it. I knew I wanted the boys to get off of internet. Like, they were supposed to get off 20 minutes ago. And I'm like, calm down. Guess what? Replay. YouTube has it. We can replay. It's fine. So we rewatched it. And honestly, though, at the end, I will say I was most impressed with Carrie Underwood, who,
yeah,
I mean, and she was the talk, right? I mean, literally, we have a new president, but people were like, Carrie Underwood, did you see her? Because she was just like, okay.
Cool, calm, and collected.
She was like, this isn't working. This isn't working. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You know what? I'm just going to sing. And I literally just teared up. I just sat there, and I was not emotional the entire time. But when I saw and listened to her, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, that she had the common sense, right? And just the will and the, you know what? I'm going to do this. And
and the talent to do it without music.
And I was praying. I was like, please, Lord, let her hit these notes, because
I think we all knew. I mean, Carrie Underwood is extremely talented.
Yes, right? But you know, like just a moment in time. And
you're nervous. You're like, you're in front of all these people, millions of people watching. And she had the woo-saw to be like, sing it. We're just gonna sing it. It's okay.
Well, I think and it made me think, okay, if that was me, would I have the gumption? Could I show up when I need to show up? And it made me think I thought about it last night some more. And I was like, you know what, Lord, help me to show up like that in my life when I need to. Yes, Bowen. Yeah. I started shouting excitement when she did it. But it made me think, okay, would I be able to show up in a way like that in my life, or what I'm doing on the farm and when I need to? And, you know, I hope that I can just show up like that. I hope I have, and I hope I can continue to do that in my farm. And I thought, was there ever any time where things were not going where it needed to be? Did I just show up? And I can go back and now and say, yeah, you know what? I have done that. Yeah. I have done that. So I know I can. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do the hard things, and she definitely pushed through and did the hard things.
Well, you know what's funny? I didn't know this. I just want to know if y'all know this, because again, I didn't know it. In the Constitution, it says that a president has to be sworn, whatever side you're for, whatever party you're for. In the Constitution, it says you have to be sworn in by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Did you know that? Did y'all know that?
I did not.
I know that it was a time. I didn't know what time it was.
What would happen if he wasn't? Would he like forfeit and roll back to Biden?
I was about to say, do you know that it was 11:59? Because I'm on my phone sweating because they were running a little bit behind because they were having technical difficulties. Listen, we know about technical difficulties here at Round the Hay Bale. Yeah. So Trump, we understand. We get it. Because we have some microphone issues too.
Sandy, what were you going to say?
Well, one thing with Casey, the justice that swore him in, he didn't wait for the family. So he obviously knew the time.
Yeah.
And he just went right there. And I thought, I was a little taken back almost that he didn't wait for all of his family to get around there. But to, that was because it was right before the time that he needed to do. So that's interesting. That but what I was going to say is that Carrie Underwood is exactly what we're talking about tonight.
Yep.
A situation comes up, and really, how many of us would have had the composure and the confidence to say, okay, the music isn't working, I'm just going to sing anyway. And then the whole crowd was singing with her.
And not just the crowd there, but the crowd at the Capital One building, the big building where all of the fans were at, were singing as well.
And in our everyday situation, I think that we can just really inspire people when everything is chaos, everything is not being the way it's supposed to be, your family's all upset. You can be that person that calmly looks at a situation and says, okay, maybe I don't like this situation.
Yeah.
But we have a higher power. What today is happening is not going to be what happens tomorrow. We can push through that. And sometimes we just have to be that example, even though our heart is having a hard time. And you got to surround yourself with people like us four. Any given day, we can send a text message and say, hey, I need you guys to be there for me. And it's just bam, bam, bam. People are writing back. We're here.
Yep. Yeah.
So surround yourself with people. So no matter what situation, good, bad, you got people there to help you.
Yeah. I just wrote that down before you started saying something. And I was like, oh, I need to make sure I say that too. Because if you're around people that are encouraging you or that are there, not only to encourage you, but to teach you, and that they are a good example to you. So, you can surround yourself with people that are very like-minded, but if you have some people that are maybe more wise than you, some maybe older friends and some younger friends, you can be that person. I think that's like the perfect ratio because, you've got people that are going to teach you and that people that you can still encourage and teach and lead, and you can work I feel like your community is better that way. When you have older people and younger people and people that are right in between. And it's such a great combo. Even yesterday, I texted Eric out of the blue because I was putting out hay by myself. Yes. Thank you. And in the frigid 25-degree weather, but I got out there and I was moving the hay and I was so excited. And I texted Eric later and I was like, hey, thank you. Thank you for being an encouragement. Thank you for pushing me to do things outside of my comfort zone because I didn't want to learn how to drive the tractor. I didn't want to know how to do it. I didn't care. That's not my job. That's not my thing. I don't need that. But he encouraged me. And my boys helped teach me so that I could do it. Yes, I said my boys helped teach me. And it was amazing. And I felt so encouraged and empowered when I was out there like putting hay out for my cows because I didn't want him to have to do it in the dark.
Right.
And it was like, I felt so good. Of course, then I told him what I did. And he was like, oh, did you do this first? And did you look at this first? And I'm like, oh, forget it. I'm not helping no more.
But listen, also having those relationships can brighten your day and help ground you, because I know, funny story for those that don't know, is that the four of us are in a group chat. We have our little group chat that we talk off, and I have a special ringtone for that group chat. So even when I'm at work, if I hear this ringtone, I know what it is, whether it's a text message or what it is. And a couple seasons ago, Alicia, who was on the show, did a sound effect where she said, do, 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 do. And that do, 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 do is the ringtone for if Monica, Sandy, or Ann text.
Oh my gosh.
But one, because I already know that anything that the three of them text is going to brighten my day. Yeah. Whether it's something that we need to pray for or whether it's something exciting or whatever it is, hearing from them brightens my day. Yeah. And then that little small sound effect from Alicia just kind of makes it to where you're like, the phone, right? So sometimes we need those things in our day-to-day lives that may be a little bit immature, because that sound effect's probably immature. But
it's fun.
It helps me with my day. It helps me get through it. And having that little group of people. Now, we've talked about this a lot on our podcast, having your little squad, having your group of
your tribe,
your tribe that gets you. That is the biggest thing for big changes. Absolutely. Is you have to have your tribe that understands you, that gets you. And if they're into the same things you are, that just kind of like heightens it, because who wants to go through life having friends that you really can't talk to about stuff? Because you're worried, oh, politically they may not understand me, or this they might not understand, religiously they may not understand me, or mentally they may not understand me, or socially, whatever it is. Having your tribe that just gets you is the way to deal through these big changes that we're talking about. I recommend it. Have a good squad.
Well, I think that was another thing too. They said real quick too. He said everyone can use some encouragement from time to time. John said that from Two Doves, Bees, and Gardens, and it spins off of what Sandy said. Think about what you're telling your best friend, right? Because sometimes when you're in a place where you don't really want to be encouraged because you're in a funk, sometimes you have to talk to yourself. Or actually, maybe it is you just encouraging somebody else, because there's been times where I just did not feel like dealing with people. And I had one of my friends reach out to me and I was like, oh my gosh, just stop, blah, 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 blah. And then I poured into them. And then I was like, wow, I actually needed that. Sometimes so encouraging someone else, maybe, whatever. So Sandy, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Oh, no. I was just going to encourage the people in the chat.
Yeah.
Like when we first started YouTube, all of us, you didn't know anybody, and you started reaching out, you started having conversations. And I mean, one of my very best friends I have now, I met her because she started talking to me on YouTube. And then we started texting, and we have met up several times. And she is just like this rock for me. And I hope I'm a rock for her too. But, keep chatting with people. Find YouTube channels that really resonate with you, that you can form friendships with, not just comments, friendships with, because it happens all the time.
And also, if somebody doesn't respond back to you right away, don't take that as, oh, they don't want to talk to me. Yeah. Because I just want to say, because I'm an overthinker just in general. Like, I'll be like, oh, Monica didn't text me back within 0.2 seconds. She hates me. She's so mad at me right now. But especially with YouTubers, we usually have 9.7 billion things going on at that point, and probably haven't even looked at our text messages or comments to start. So give it time, because you never know. Like Sandy said, one of her very dear friends is through a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
And nobody would have funked that. Probably me and Monica would have bonded as much as we have over what has it been, 5 years?
4 years? I think it's been 4 or 5 years. It was from the 9/11 thing. I guess it was Lisa.
It was Lisa, because I used to call her the homestead fairy godmother.
Yeah.
Because she used to always pair people up. Like, oh, I think you would. Sandy, how did we all meet you? Since we're talking about stories, I'm trying to.
I don't know. I have been.
I knew you were famous
of your channels for a long time.
Yeah.
And then go into people's chats. Their live streams, because then you really get to know them. I mean, it's one thing watching a video, but if they're doing some live streams, then you get to know more about them, the funny, quirky, weird things that all of us have.
Yeah.
And like with Anne, our sweet Anne.
Oh, our sweet Anne.
I mean, it was years ago, and we just clicked, and it was like, we're peas in a pod. And we have said that back and forth. I can't even tell you how many times.
I love it.
Can I just say about Anne too? A lot of people think, okay, she can't be that friendly and amazing in real life.
Is.
Literally, she is.
In the chat, she is.
She literally is.
She really is. I'm taking notes off of her. She is always positive, always amazing, always wonderful. That what you see on her Tuesday is truly Anne, on and off. Oh,
speaking of which, she just came in.
Speak of the angel, and she shall appear.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing too. Like Miss Ann, I was like 4 hours from her house. Like, I mean, I was far, and we were able to meet up, and she drove to meet me and my kids, and we had lunch together, and it was the sweetest thing. And my kids are like, we're gonna go meet another YouTuber. I'm like, guys, settle down. It's Miss Ann Dale. Do you guys know? They're like, yeah, we know what we were talking about. But when they like met her in person later on, they were like, she was really nice, Mom. And I'm like, I told you. I told you. Because the first time we met Casey, they were like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, stop. We're gonna meet Mr. Casey. It's gonna be fine. And they were like, he's so nice. And I'm like, I know. They look past the fake meat. It's fine.
Have you gotten, like, when you've met people in person, have anybody said, oh, I thought you were going to be this way, but you were different?
Well, like I remember when I was in Arizona one year, and I met up with some people that comment all the time. You know, they were in Arizona, and in fact, it was last summer. And it was just like this connection click. You know, we'd gone back and forth multiple times, right? And I meet her in person. She's exactly how I think she's going to be. And she says to me, oh, you're exactly like on your YouTube channel.
Oh,
well, that's a compliment.
Oh, yeah. And I said, you guys got to come over to supper. And she goes, what? And I said, yeah, we'll fix supper. And so I give her my address. They come over. They bring other people. We had so much fun. Now, you can't always do that with people you don't know. But we had this long time that we had been chatting back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just like with Casey.
Monica was, she's about 99% exactly what she is on her videos. I would say the only thing is she's shorter in person than I thought.
I'm 5'3.5". But Eric's 6'1", so I mean, like,
well, see, I haven't met Eric in person.
Yeah, so that's what I think. That's what people think about him. They see him in person, they're like, "You're taller than I thought."
One thing that I got from Alicia when Alicia came is that she was like, "Oh, Casey, I thought you were going to be a lot more, I guess, flamboyant or out there. Like on my videos, I'm very like, ah! And in person, I'm really not. Like Monica can tell you, I'm really kind of subdued.
No, yeah, he's just like that friend you just want to sit on the couch and talk to until 2 a.m. I mean, like we literally did.
True story. Yeah, we actually did that.
But it's funny because, you know, I think that you don't think about it, but God provides you friends in places that you would never realize that you needed them. And I think it's also important to remember too that we talk about changes in your life, and sometimes it's important for you to remember that sometimes you have to let friends go, because sometimes you have people in your life that you've grown apart, and sometimes you just need to let them go, and it's okay. Like, it's okay. But on the good note, you know, because everything doesn't have to be all bad or all good. Sometimes it's right in the middle. Sometimes it's just that bittersweet moment where you're like, that was a wonderful season. And I'm gonna tell you right now,
season, exactly.
That's exactly what it is. It's a season of life. And I hate change. I don't like going to different churches and hopping. Like, I don't like having, like, we've had to like leave churches before, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave this church. I've already made friends. Like, I don't want to change. But sometimes you have to change, and you have to do things. And it's not always bad or good. Sometimes it's just bittersweet. And you have to just realize that it's going to be okay. God's got plans, and it's going to be fine wherever you are. But yeah, I mean, honestly, hey, Nene Tam. So yeah, I think that it's one of those things that change is important, and it's going to happen, and you have to deal with it. And yeah.
Hey, Jackie. Oh, Jackie, Ann is off. She had some personal things. Pray for her. She wasn't feeling well, and she had some other stuff. So she's in the chat, though. So say hi to her.
Yeah, she's in the chat.
She is in the chat.
Carlene, Kentucky woman Carlene said, I love all my YouTube friends, the ones I met in person and the ones I haven't. And yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you talk to people in the chat, and hi, Cynthia, and you feel so connected with them. And then you start chatting outside of the chat, and then it becomes such a great friendship that you would have never thought you would have had. I mean, just never. Like, you just like, how in the world did I become friends with this person? And it doesn't matter. It's just amazing that you have these friendships.
And you could have not even talked even on the phone. Like, I'll say, because she's probably still in the chat, but Nancy from our Treasured Home, me and her have gotten such a wonderful, beautiful bond over Instagram messaging. that we'll stop and we'll pray together. Like if one of us is having a bad day, the other person will say, "Would you like to pray?" Yeah. And of course, it's always yes. And you have that special bond with somebody that you truly have never met. You've never even spoken on the phone, but you see their names. Like we see y'all's names pop up all the time. Like when we saw Cynthia Delot, all I hear in my head is Anne saying, "Cynthia Delot from the Netherlands."
Yes, I know, right?
I mean, it's those type of things that you learn to have these wonderful, beautiful friendships off of popping in our live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. But it's also one of those things too, where you realize life does come and life does go. And there are people that you miss, people that you've never met in person, and you'll still be upset about when you find out that they're gone. So if you remember, if anybody's ever heard of Miss Lila Newton, please say a prayer for her family. She passed away, I guess, last week. And it's just hard when you lose people, especially when they're so young. And so keep praying for her family. And if you haven't heard, and if you have, keep praying, but yeah, there's been a lot going on, a lot of changes, and we have to take a moment, thank God for the good things, thank him for the things that we think are maybe bad, and then keep pushing through, because we got to do something. You can't just sit there.
Well, can I say before we log off, because I'll be the Ann tonight. Okay, I got you, Miss Ann. Don't you worry. Yeah,
you gotta pay attention to our time.
We normally say, I want to say, where's Rudy? Rudy's usually telling us.
I know.
He's usually letting us know the time, but we normally try to stay at about 30 minutes. But while we're talking about changes, some good changes are coming. And BTW, it's season 6 is coming up.
That's right.
From the 4 of us. And one thing that we have all decided is that we don't like being off air from y'all, our friends, our YouTube friends.
Nope.
Our podcast is going to be year round, starting this year. You will never, ever, ever have to miss a podcast from us, because 365 days there will be. Well, it's going to be a little different this year because we're starting a little later, but you get my point.
All 52 weeks. All 52
weeks, you will have a podcast coming out, and you will have a Tuesday live with us, so we can chit chat about changes that are happening in your life. And we thank everybody who has come in tonight. All 40 of y'all right now. That is, I mean, it is just mind blowing to see how much the podcast has grown in the past year. And it's all thanks to y'all that come in and support us and give us hearts and comment on our videos. And we couldn't do it without you. So we thank you so much. Oh, hey, Raydeen. Hey. I've been. Oh, wow.
My daughter gave me an electric carry pressure can for Christmas.
Girl, I'm trying to tell you, that is the thing you need to have. We finally got Sandy peer pressured into getting one too. So she's part of the cult too.
And Ginger from Not For Nothing just got one too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
See our
we
electric
need to do a clap.
We do.
Yes. We got you, Nancy. Nancy from our treasure home asked for prayer. She just said that she has something going on with her eyes. And so red spots, blotchy, everything. So it's really swollen, everything. So if you could just keep her in prayer.
Absolutely. We love you.
That's what friends are for.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely need to do a carry pressure canner or Nesco pressure canner class. We need to do a live demo.
Yeah, and a collab with it, and have people from the chat do stuff too.
That would be amazing.
And if y'all want to see something like that, definitely, if you're rewatching this, put it in the comments. Leave us a comment and say, "Hey, Ann, Casey, Monica, Sandy, yes, I want a class. Can y'all please do a class, a 30-minute class, an hour class, whatever y'all want to see on using the electric pressure canner?" Because we have talked about Sandy, as Monica said, since I'm feeling Sandy, I have to be smart and intelligent. Sandy has talked about having where it is on screen with us to walk you through it, because sometimes I need that. I need a dumbed down version that says, "Casey, could you please touch this button, push this button up?" And if you want to see that, here we see. We're already
Carlene says, do a class. I'm telling you. I need the hands-on too. Whenever I don't understand something, I'll literally look at whoever's explaining it to me, and I'm like, look, I need you to talk to me like I'm a kindergartner, maybe even pre-K. Just break every detail down like you're teaching me the ABCs all over again. I just need every detail, but show me, because I need to show me. That's why I watched
more comfortable.
Yeah, well, that's why I watched Ann Dale can water like 8 times before I used my pressure canner. I had a manual. It was easy. I could just look at the manual, right? Not me, not a normal person. I can't be that normal person. I have to watch someone. Exactly. I'm a visual learner. I have to watch someone do something. That's why I just talked to a friend up the street. She said, I really want to do meat rabbits. I don't know what to do. And I said, hey, we have a bunch of meat rabbits. We're going to go ahead and process them here soon. I have a YouTube video, but if you want to come up the street in 2 weeks, I'll give you a ring and you can come over. She's like, oh my gosh, that'd be great. I said, yeah. And if you want, you can buy a rabbit. You can come and hands on your own rabbit and take it home with you. She was like, I could do that. I was like, well, there you go. Because why not? Learn hands on. It's the best way to do it.
You know, Monica is actually the person that when I first got my Nesco pressure canner, electric pressure canner, I called her and I'm like, Monica, I'm doing something really, really wrong because I don't know what's going on. She said, okay, FaceTime. and we FaceTimed and she was like, no, Casey, that's what she said. Wait, it's going to say E10.
Oh my gosh, that's stinking E10.
You know what's crazy is that's all I needed. As simple as that sounded, that's all. Okay, you're good, Casey. The E10 is happening. She said it'll turn to E0. So yes, with all those comments, we will do a class. We'll figure out what we're gonna do a class on, like what we're gonna because we want to be very specific this season on what episode is on, like not necessarily a general term. But y'all, thank you. We are jumping on 40 minutes now. So we really appreciate you. Thank you for coming in. We love you, Anne. All of us will be here next week, Tuesday. Y'all, this is the last live that I'm doing from this room, from this homestead. So little bittersweet.
Big changes.
Big changes. I will be at a different establishment next Tuesday. So bye, y'all. We love you, and we will see you next week on Hey Y'all Hey Radio Show. Hey, Monica, did you know it's now even easier to listen to Around the Hay Bale podcast?
What? Really? How easy?
That's right. All you have to do is say, Alexa, play Round the Hay Bale podcast.
Playing Round the Hay Bale podcast on Apple Music.
Ooh, we're really fancy now.
Tune in to Round the Hay Bale every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time.